And we start now. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us for our senior manager school today or training. It's my pleasure to welcome you on this call this morning. And I'm quite happy to be able to see we are starting our meeting with over 100 people joining us from different places. We have senior managers and above joining us from Kenya, from Uganda, from Tanzania, and even from other places like South Africa who are on this call today. Mine is to welcome you to this meeting today, which is going to take like an hour. And I believe that during that 1 hour, we'll be able to get a lot of information and training and things that we can be able to do to influence our business going forward from the speakers, from the powerful speakers who are lined up today. We'll be able to share their experience, their wealth of how they've been able to build their business through this opportunity of new life. So you're in a good place. And I want to welcome you all to this call today. We also have our president team members who are on this call. You're most welcome. And, as a senior manager, the first thing that you're supposed to know, it's our mission. And our mission, it's a complete aspect of what you do on a daily basis, which will be able to help you to achieve the things that you want to achieve. And this is more like the foundation of the company. This is how the company is formulated to be able to make the world a healthier and a happier place to be. And we believe it starts with you as a senior manager, and we truly thank you for taking the opportunity to be able to join your life and to be able to change your life. So those are some of the two key things that will definitely change for you, because we could be having a senior manager who stepped up this month. We could be having a senior manager who stepped up last month, and you're most welcome to this call. So this is a place where you get a lot of training to be able to help you to understand what's next. Yes, you have become a senior manager. What next are you supposed to do, and what is that you're supposed to achieve? So before I go too far, there are 5 questions which I always think they should be in a mind of a distributor. And a senior manager is a distributor. So when you hear me referring you as a distributor, just understand everybody in your life is a distributor. And question number 1, which should always be in your mind as a senior manager, it is, why am I here? Remember, the first question that we ask people when we meet them, it's, what is your why? What do you want to achieve? And that is something which should be very clear to you as a senior manager. Why am I here? And one of the key things that will be able to help you to understand why you are here, it is your vision. What is your vision? Make sure your vision is very clear. Make sure it is well cut out, and you understand exactly what you are supposed to do with it. So the other question that you should really be able to ask yourself and answer yourself, it is, where am I going? If you do not have a direction, you'll be able to end up anywhere. And anywhere doesn't mean a good place. In most cases, anywhere means the place where you did not anticipate, the place where you did not envision. You're just there because you did not know exactly where you are going. So you need to have your goals and targets and plans. Those are some of the things we'll be able to talk about them here. I don't want to expound them, but as a senior manager, your goals needs to be clear. You need to have clear targets, and you need to have a good plan that will be able to help you to achieve it. The other thing is, how am I going to get there? Remember, if you have the vision, you have the goals, you have the target, you have the plan, and you don't know how you're going to get there, again, there is a gap, there is a problem. You'll not be able to achieve the things that you want to achieve. So you need to start taking action. Remember, for you to join your life, you took action. For you to become a manager, you took some serious action. For you to become a senior manager, you also had to take some key action, which enabled you to be able to get to where you are today. So the other thing is, how am I doing? Every time, make sure you evaluate your progress. If you see the things that you want to achieve are not being achieved properly, then there must be some things that you need to twist so that you can be able to achieve your target. So the other thing is, what is in it for me? And that is where your goals and dreams and vision, they are compounded together and they make a complete visual thing that you can be able to see. So is it money? Is it taking children to school? Those are some of the key things that you need to understand you'll be able to achieve if you can be able to follow the process properly. And the speakers who are on call today, they'll be able to answer all these questions. They'll be able to help you to understand how can you be able to answer, how can you be able to find the 5 questions. The key thing first is to find the 5 questions. Then the second thing is to answer them and take action to be able to achieve them. So mine was just to welcome you to this call. I don't want to talk a lot because we have a good line of speakers who are going to be sharing with us today, this morning, and they'll be able to take us through some interesting sessions. So every senior manager, wherever you are, you're most welcome to this call. And I believe by the end of it, because our target, it is not just for you to remain a senior manager. A senior manager is a step. It is not a title. So by the end of this call, where I want you to make a good decision and just want to be able to understand, how do I move from senior manager to director? Because when you become a director, you achieve more benefits from the company. That is a level that will be able to help you to understand a lot of things that you can be able to achieve and even to be able to continue to share your business. So without much ado, I just want to welcome our first speaker this morning. It's a gentleman I know so well, a good friend of mine. We have been able to do business together, and he's a great leader all the way from Kampala. Ladies and gentlemen, help me to our world team member, Justus Muhumuza. Justus, if you can hear me, please proceed.
Yes, I can hear you, Mr. Paul.
Okay, go ahead. I can hear you as well.
Yes, I'm just trying to put my slides together here. Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Paul Matu, for organizing this session, the senior manager meeting for the month. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Muhumuza Justus, and I live here in Kampala, Uganda, and I've been part of Neolife for quite some time. I got started in Neolife when I was a student in my very first year at Makerere University. And I got started because a friend of mine told me there was a company that I would be able to partner up with, make money enough to pay my school fees, and that was Neolife. At that point, I had registered for a dead year because my parents did not have money to keep me in school. So when I came in, I listened to whatever was being presented, and it all seemed a very good idea to me. I got started doing the basics, and my life started changing. I remember I started as a very young man who was completely broke, who did not have any money. And so when I got started, they told me Neolife actually wasn't just about selling supplements. Neolife was a business that was about changing my life. That Neolife was a business that was going to take me from where I am to where I am going to be able to achieve my goals and my dreams. At that point, my only goals were 3. One was to afford 3 meals a day because as a student, I used to have some challenges with my finances, whereby even sometimes I could actually struggle with the 3 meals at the university. And then secondly, my goal was to actually affording to pay my hostel fees because my mother could not afford to continue paying my rent as well. And then thirdly was to make money enough to pay my school fees because I got started at the point when I had registered for a dead year because my mother did not have money to get me in school. So I start doing the basics. I remember they told me to set some goals. I set the goals and I started building my business and my life started changing. Within a space of about 6 months, I had actually been able to build a business that was actually a direct size business, paying me about $500 here in my country. And that was very good money at my age, someone who had quit school. So it was money that started giving me hope that things could happen. Well, when I kept on developing more directors in my business in a space of 1 year and 1 month, I had 3 directors on my team, and I was able to be a world team member. As a world team member, so many things changed. I went back to school, started paying my own school fees. I started living a very good life, started affording, paying my rent, and so many things changed, even the travel and lives that I came through. And that is even when I had a chance to buy my very first car. The car that you see, the black car that you see, is actually my second car that I bought on my 30th birthday. And my country, there are very few people that could actually afford that car. My next car is going to be the one in red, the one that you're seeing in maroon, that I plan to buy in the next like 2 to 3 years, because I really love cars. And then so I've also been able to travel. I also developed goals to travel. And enjoy a very good lifestyle. I've been able to get some very, very good friends in this business, international friends. So it's a very, very wonderful business that has changed my life. That I believe that if you are a senior manager and you're listening in today, if you focus on growing your business and focus on doing whatever we are sharing with today, so many things are also going to be able to change in your life. My topic today is about goal setting. And one thing that I have come to learn is that goal setting is the starting point of all great accomplishments in life and actually in near life as well. And then the other thing I've also come to learn and appreciate is that you can never achieve a goal that you have not set. So if you are a senior manager or you are a director listening in today, there is nothing that you're going to achieve and accomplish in near life if you have not set it as a goal. Nothing is going to happen. Yeah, nothing is going to happen. You need to sit down every single month, set your goals, and then see how to start growing your business. Why do we set goals? One of the reasons as to why we set goals is to help us to be and stay motivated. You're all in agreement that sometimes this business gets a little bit challenging, especially when you're starting this business. And in most cases, it's challenging because you have not learned the skills required for you to be able to build a business. I remember as a senior manager, I went through some challenges. Sometimes I would organize meetings. I would invite people, like 100 people, and out of the 100 people that I have invited, all have promised me to come. And at the end of the day, out of 100, I would see only 2, 3, 5 people. And I would actually be discouraged a little bit. But then when I would remember the goals that I have, the things that I want to accomplish out of this business, it would give me a go ahead. It would give me the motivation to even go further, to keep on building this business, to keep on talking to more people. So if you have no goals, it is going to be very hard for you to be motivated, for you to be inspired, for you to keep on charging forward, for you to keep on pushing and pressing forward. Then the other thing that goals help you is that goals keep you going even when the going gets tough. Sometimes the going gets tough. I remember in my third month of the business, when I got started, I was told that this business was all about sponsoring. I needed to sponsor, I needed to bring in people, I need to build a team so that I can be able to reach my goals faster. And in my first month, I actually set a goal to sponsor 10 people, but I ended up sponsoring only 6. In my second month, I had about 9 people. And with my entire team in the second month, we had 32 people. In the third month, because most of the people that I had sponsored in my business were young people like me, they were students. Most of my students told me, just as we are actually going to prepare for exams, so I think it's time to put this business on hold. I remember everyone went out of the business and I only stayed with 3 people. You can imagine, you have a team of 32 people and now you have only 3 people who are now active in the business. If you are not strong, if you do not have those goals in picture, in your dreams, it becomes very hard for you to keep your motivation, to keep on working, especially when you're going through such kind of tough times. And as a senior manager, I know that tough times are there. I know that you will go through them. And in case you haven't gone through them, you will meet them. But the beauty is, if you have your goals, your goals will keep you going. I have one of my mentors who says that when you are drowning in the water, always work so hard to keep your head above the water, because when your head is above the water, that means you will not be able to drown. Now, it is your goals in this business that keep your head above the water. Then the other thing that your goals are going to help you is that goals are going to help you to keep track and to keep track of your business and also give you direction. I have seen people who've been in this business for some time and there is no progress. But I've also seen people who have been in this business for a few months, and there is a lot of progress. The difference comes in the beauty of their goals and their dreams. When you have goals, you will keep on progressing. Your business will keep on growing. You will be having a sense of direction. But without goals, things become a little bit tough. You will keep in the same place over and over again, year and after year. And then the other thing that goals help you is that they help you to keep track of your progress. You know, the other thing that goals are going to help you, it is from setting goals that we get to achieve all our dreams. I believe that all of us are in this business because we have goals that because we have to be able to. Now, when you break them down, those small processes of you being able to achieve your dreams, that is what we call goal setting. So if there's any skill that as a senior manager you need to acquire, it is the skill of goal setting, and to also be able to help your team to set goals. I can guarantee you, if you have a team of people with goals, people who know where they're going, people who know what they want, it will become very easy. You will be having a whole. We will always have business goals, and then we'll always have personal goals. Now, as we are setting business goals, one of the things that you need to do is you need to set goals for your daily activity. I want you to remember that your success in this business is dependent on what you do on a daily basis. You are not going to come up one day and do one thing to get you to director. No, that you do daily that are going to get you to director. Once, I personally, I set myself a target of being between 3 to 5 one-on-ones on a daily basis. On a weekly basis, how many one-on-ones are you going to do? On a monthly basis, how many one-on-ones do you plan to do? My goal is to make more than 101, more than 100 one-on-ones. For me, yourself, is how many guests do you plan to have in every presentation? How many guests do you plan to have in all the Zoom meetings? Remember that if you have not set it as a goal, then you become inconsistent. You are not able to keep track of your what? Of your progress. And then the other thing, as you're
Just as you might need to check your network is it's on and off.
sorry about that.
Okay.
Okay, no, we are getting a little bit of some rains here. Can you hear me, Mr. Paul?
Yes, I can hear you now. Proceed.
Okay. So I was telling you that you need to set goals for your personal achievements. That is how many personal points that you want to do on a monthly basis, how many team points that you also would love to do on a monthly basis. Remember that you are only able to achieve that if you have set it as a goal. You need to ask yourself, how many people do I want to join in my business this month? How many people do I want to sponsor personally? You know, you need to have a look at that. How many managers do I want to develop? How many senior managers do I want to develop? Remember that our business only grows as we are growing what? We are growing people. And then the other thing is your personal goals. Now, it's usually your personal goals that are going to help to motivate you to be able to achieve, to do the business goals. Now, the activity that I want you to do as a senior manager, I want you to come up with a list of 101 goals and dreams that you would love to actually accomplish in the next 1 year, in the next 2 years, in the next 3 years, in the next 5 years, in the next 10 years. Write them down. Write them down. Remember, the Chinese said that a goal written down is halfway achieved. So write them down. And then after writing them down, you are the next slide. I'm actually working so hard to make sure that in the next 5 years, I have built my dream home. I'm working so hard to make sure that in the next 5 years, I have been able to buy one of my dream cars. Yeah. Now, it is these dreams that actually help you to keep you motivated. It is these dreams that help you to grow in business. It is these dreams and goals that help you to stay focused in business. It is these dreams and goals that are going to keep you going, that are going to make sure that you work so hard to build this business to director, to build this business to world team, to build this business to president's team. Yeah. So go ahead and plan so well. Have your goals written down. Review them with your upline. Review them with your presence team members, and let you see how you can come up with a clear action plan to be able to achieve your goals. I believe that if you do this, your business is going to grow. So many things are going to change in your life, and we shall meet at the beaches of this world, and you will be enjoying this business. Thank you so much for listening to me, and sorry about the network in case some of the points missed out. Thank you so much, Mr. Paul. Back to you. Back to you, Mr. Paul.
Thank you so much, Justus, for such an amazing session about goal settings. And I believe every senior manager who is on this call today, you agree with me that is a place where you are supposed to start so that you can be able to get direction, you can be able to get focus, and you can also be able to stand during difficult times. So Justus has been able to give us very clear information point by point. And I think it's amazing the work he has been able to do. So I believe as a senior manager, you'll be able to go out and put together your goals, and you can be able to continue to succeed in this business. So thank you so much, Justus, for taking time. I know you have another training coming up, so we really appreciate your presentation and sharing your wealth of experience with every senior manager who is on this call. So thank you so much, and God bless you. All right. So going forward, I want to bring up our next speaker. And this is a gentleman who has been in this business for some time now. They were celebrating 10 years anniversary since the time they joined this business with his wife. And it's a wonderful couple who are present team members here in Kenya. And some of the key leaders that we have with a lot of knowledge and experience on how to build business. And without much ado, I want to welcome our present team member, Josphat Kariuki, to take us to the next session. Josphat, if you can hear me.
All right, thank you, Paul. I can hear you very well.
You're welcome,
I hope
Josphat.
You can hear me too.
We can hear you and we can see you. Go ahead.
All right, thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. And I want to start by appreciating what Justus has done. That was a very good session coming ahead of what I want to share with us. So my name is Kariuki Josphat. Married to Pieros Cherotich. And between us, we are blessed with 4 young children. And we thank God for that. Now it's my pleasure to share with us just for a few minutes some of the things we need to develop, some of the things we need to perhaps make sure we learn. And I'll base this from my experience. Before this opportunity, I was teaching in the university as a full-time lecturer, computer science. Today I'm a retired man. I'm no longer teaching. So I'm just living now. I stopped surviving. Now I'm enjoying. I thank God for new life because of enabling me to be in such a position. But everyone starts senior managers with us. And when you are down there, you wonder, will I ever become like them? I've heard many people saying, you know, Kariuki, when I grow up, I want to be like you. My response to that is, just make sure you have started growing, because for you to grow to president team member, you only need to make sure that you are facing in the right direction, and then you keep moving. And the kind of training we are having now is meant to confirm to you that you are facing direction, and then now you can accelerate. Because if you run but in the wrong direction, the more you run, the faster you run, the more you get lost. Right. So when we started this business with the PROs in 2010, our mentor orientation was not the very best for this business, because our else other than books, and that is how my mind was tuned. But at the back of my mind, I really wanted to build a bright future. I was not very comfortable with the life I was living as a lecturer, you know, with a very big title and no money. And where I come from, we are not so much after titles, we are after money. So when we were promised that we would achieve our wildest dreams, dreams that resemble what Justus was showing us on the screen, I personally saw myself achieving those dreams. And I set my goals. I love that session. I set my goals of how I will move from distributor to manager, senior manager, all the way to the top. And there's nothing as powerful as working with the goals. I remember last month, before I continue with that, last month, when we were beginning the month with PROs, we set a goal of sponsoring 25 personal. Now, initially our goal was always 10 or so in a month, and we did that. Now, last month we set it to 25, and guess what? We managed 24 personal sponsoring. That is how powerful when you set your goals, you can easily achieve. Now, some of the success skills that we need, because in our business, you don't do it haphazardly. You know, you have to do it with some skills. There are 1,000,001 skills that you might need, but not all of them are so critical for your success. Some of the critical ones I would want to mention the first one as, you know, learning. You need to develop the skill of learning what is necessary for your business. Learning doesn't just happen. No wonder some people will be in here for so long and they don't really learn the business. Actually, some people quit after being in the business for almost a year and they never learned anything in that 1 year. I'm fond of saying that a log of wood does not become a crocodile because of being in the water or in the river for 5 years or 10 years. It will remain to be a log, you know. And for you to learn, you must start by unlearning. You must first create space in your, you know, mind. You first remove the learning you've done all the years that doesn't commensurate with what is needed for our success in business. And then after you've removed that prior knowledge that you had, you can now start learning the right things. Now you unlearn the old habits and the theories. Some of the things that we had to unlearn immediately. One of them was the belief that the harder we worked in our jobs, the better our future would be. We had to really cancel that from our minds because we realized the harder we worked, the broker we became. Okay, the more you broke you become, if there's anything like broker. And it wasn't working. So we knew we have to change that. we would work and be paid the same amount of money we are being paid. But here we realized that it is us who are paying ourselves. And the senior managers, we must first learn how to make money in the business. And we stop, accusing the company or applying for us not earning the amount of money we want, Now, the other way of learning the right things and unlearning the wrong things is by reading the right books. The right books. Don't read just any book. If you read books like, My Life in Crime, guess what? You'll be able to utter some tough words, but they will not reflect in any way in your business. You'll bring crime to your business, But when you read books that teach you about network marketing, and you read another very good book, one of the best books that you will ever come across is the book called Your Upline. Sometimes I used to read a lot, but I realized if I got an upline who can really share some wisdom from experience, then it will be better than even reading 1,000,001 books. Now, what are some of the aspects that we need to learn in our business? Number one, basic products information. I am keen on this. I didn't say you become a professor in knowing the products. There are some products that if you ask me technical questions, I will not tell you the answers because I am not a medic. I mean, why should you know how TNN is made and, the chemical composition of the product, and you are not a member of SAB, Scientific Advisory Board, but you need some basic knowledge about the products so that you will not be going to your upline director for a small questions like, how does TNN work, so that you appear competent before your team. If your team realizes that you don't know anything about the products, guess what? They will not trust you, they will not listen to you, and therefore you will not grow your business. The other thing that we need to learn is how to expose your business. How to expose your business opportunity. You see, we are building business. We are not in the business to warm each other. We are here to build our brightest future. And for you to do that, you need to learn the skill of how do I share the opportunity with the people out there. You cannot sponsor people when your mouth is shut or when your mouth is open, but not sharing the right things. And some of the quick tips for exposing your business opportunity is keeping it simple. As I was building the business, at the very beginning, I started sharing the opportunity from day one. Day one, you've not really learned much about the business, and therefore it was very simple. And people would still join. Then at one point, I made a mistake. I really complicated it. I'm telling you, I did it in a way that nobody would copy what and duplicate what I was doing. And that started slowing me a bit. So I realized that I have to keep it simple. We call it KISS, K-I-S-S. Keep it simple and straight. Our business is not complicated. Don't complicate it. From the university teaching, we teach complex things. And bringing such a thing here, you lose people. Here, people don't want to know about Avogadro's constant and Archimedes principle. Those tough things. They just want to know, wow, the triangle is supposed to sit like this instead of sitting with the head. And you can make money when you introduce friends and they are using the product. Simple. Now, the other thing is never exaggerate. Sometimes as a senior manager, you might be tempted to really show the guests how they can earn too much money within a very short time. and it ends up appearing unrealistic. When you exaggerate, the person you are talking to is able to tell that that is not true. So don't exaggerate about the business and don't exaggerate about the products. If you tell people that this one product will cure everything, every challenge in your body will get out because of this one product, then they will think that you are a witch, you know? So never exaggerate. And then at the beginning of Hans, senior manager, saying, you know, I would build the business big time if I was as successful as you. That is not the correct position. The correct position is you succeed by sharing your dream. What Justus has shown us. You succeed by sharing your dream. Now, before I achieved anything in the business, this is how I did it. I joined and I found people were traveling to different places. At that time, it was about Cape Town. And I got a magazine, which at the back was having a very good picture of Cape Town. I didn't want to know who are going to Cape Town. I took that magazine. I would walk around with it, showing everyone where we are traveling. Cape Town. Now, I was a brand new person, but I told them we are traveling to Cape Town and they must join us so that we travel together. And they really joined until I became a software director and I went to Cape Town. So I used the dream of what I wanted to achieve before I achieved it, and therefore I was able to achieve. Now, let's go to number 3, the other aspect we need to learn, and that is how to handle your team. This is very important. As a senior manager, it's likely that you have 1 or 2 or 3 distributors, managers, senior managers, and the like. Please be very careful on how you relate with your team. And I know this will be hard on in the next session, but I must mention this. When you are working with your team as a senior manager, so that you can go to director, you must accept to be the servant. Never accept to be a boss to your team. You have to, at the beginning, really work like a slave, like a servant for them, so that they can get the momentum. And once they've gotten the momentum, you can sit back and enjoy seeing them skyrocket. And that way you'll be moving at a very high speed upwards. And then you check on your communication with them. Now, communication is everything when you have a team. Don't share everything with your distributors. You have to know what is relevant for them. Actually, when you're not excited, because at one point, this is not good to tell you, but I have to tell you. At one point, you will not be so excited. Maybe you worked very hard, you didn't get a check, and you are demoralized by that. You cannot go telling your distributors, you know what? I worked so hard, and imagine they never gave me a check. Now they will run out of the business. And they are the ones who would have helped you to get a check. So always check on the communication that you are making to your team. Quickly, having looked at some of the things that we need to develop, or rather to learn, let me mention some of the things we must eliminate. And the first one is the obvious one, fear. When you start this business, you are likely to have some fear, because you don't know exactly how to go about the business. You will fear, how will my friends see me? You see, like for me, when I joined, being a lecturer, some lecturers would ask me, surely, what is that you are doing? With all the education, now you are coming here to tell us about TNN. You know, but I knew I have started a journey that is not taken by many. And you see, sometimes it's good to take the path that has not been walked through, and it is the one to make the difference. So I didn't really fear being seen like I am doing something that is not good for lecturers. I knew lecturers are doing good job, but they are not living their dream life. So I had to do what they were not doing. What if they reject me? Oh, it's very good to be rejected. If you're not doing anything, nobody will ever reject you. So if you want to change your life, be ready to be rejected. People will laugh at you. You are saying you are flying high, and we have always seen you around here. So now my point is this: eliminate that fear. Now, don't be over-dependent on your upline. Somebody was asking, what's your upline? The person who brought you into the business is your upline, especially director level. Don't be over-dependent on your upline. There's a story of the fly trying to get out of its cocoon, and it was really suffering. What did the man do? Because of the love and compassion that he had, he helped the butterfly to get out, by, cutting the edges of, or widening the path, or the narrow opening for the butterfly to get out, which happened. But after getting out, the butterfly never flew. Why? The entire life, it never flew. Why? The explanation is that squeezing is meant to, squeeze the fluid from the body to the wings so that the wings are strong. Now, that step was missed by the butterfly because it was helped. Now, that is the danger you will get into if you want your upline to do everything for you. So immediately as a senior manager, you must learn to do all the basics yourself. If you are to be helped, maybe at the very beginning, and then you make sure you start. Don't bother about being perfect. You cannot be perfect at the beginning, but with the time you'll be perfect. Now, the last thing that you need to eliminate is complacency. When you become a senior manager, refuse to be comfortable at that level completely. Many people are comfortable at uncomfortable levels. Destroy that comfort zone. It doesn't matter how much money you're earning as a senior manager. The truth is, when you become a director, you'll earn much more. I remember 2 of my new directors last month, initially as senior managers, they were earning less than 10,000 Kenya shillings. But last month, both of them earned about 80,000. So you have to refuse to be comfortable. Even if you are comfortable, you destroy that comfort zone. I want to close by saying there are also things that you need to develop. My last point is, what should we develop? What are some of the crucial things that we need to develop? And the first one is courage. Courage. You have to be courageous if you are to achieve the dreams that Justus has shared with us. For us, me and Pieros, we had big dreams and we had the courage to go for the dreams. I remember some time back, I can't remember which year, we set the dream of buying a Land Cruiser. But we didn't know how it will come. But we had the courage of doing what we must do to buy that machine. Guess what? We achieved that and much more. Now, if you don't have courage, then any noisemaker out there will stop you from going for your dreams. There is a story I love about a king who wanted to marry out the daughter, and he gave some condition. He took the men who thought that this is the most beautiful lady in the world. He brought those men and he told them, if you want to marry my daughter, then you have to swim across this swimming pool full of crocodiles. And you know what? The guys would look at the lady, they would say, this is what I want for my life. And then they would look at the swimming pool, they want to jump in, and then the crocodiles are waiting for them. And then nobody would dare or have courage to jump in. But one man pushed a colleague into the swimming pool. Now, when you are pushed and you're already in the swimming pool, which other options do you have? Now, this man who was pushed swam so fast, he found himself at the other end of the swimming pool, and he was asked, how did you do it? And he could not even manage to talk because he was pushed. He didn't do it willingly. But the truth is, he managed to do it anyway. So he married the lady because of doing what he was fearing to do. You must not be pushed for you to become the person you want to become in this business. Jump in and you swim and you realize that you were capable. Guys, you may also have to develop a compelling vision, and you develop delayed gratification where you say, I'll be here even if I'm not earning what I want until I start earning. It doesn't matter how long it will take. And I can tell you in closing, for those of us who have decided, yes, today I'm a senior manager, but I will work out my business at all costs until I am a 5-diamond director, and I'll tell you there is power in confession. There is nothing that will stop you from achieving that. Nobody and nothing. You are the only one who can stop yourself. And therefore, I want to encourage each one of us, let us develop the skills we've discussed, and we see ourselves achieving every single dream, however big they are. May God bless you so much, guys, as we sail through to the top levels.
Amazing. Fantastic, Josphat. Wonderful training. I feel like starting the business myself. I'm not sure what you are feeling as a senior manager, because after this meeting, you have no reason, not even one, why you should still finish this month as a senior manager. Such kind of training, it's just a world-class training from Justus, from Josphat, Kariuki. We truly appreciate our leaders. And that tells you the wealth of experience we have in your life of people who are ready to hold your hand and make sure that you achieve your dreams. Thank you so much, Josphat, for sharing with us in such a emotional and compelling way. I believe that will be able to give us a good space where our senior managers can be able to understand what they are supposed to do and continue to do it. Who thought one day, one time, we would sit at the comfort of our homes on a Saturday and share the kind of knowledge we are sharing as we continue to build our business? Amazing. Thank you so much. So moving forward, I want to bring forward our next speaker for the day. And this is a gentleman who has been the opportunity for quite some time. He'll be able to tell us, to share with us, and is joining us all the way from Cape Town, beautiful place. That is the photo Josphat saw when he was working through the business, which made him to be able to grow his business. So without much ado, I want to welcome our present team member all the way from Cape Town. Mike, if you can hear me, please come on your screen.
Yes, I can hear you, Paul.
I can hear you too. Please go ahead.
Thank you, Paul. Can you see me? I've put my video on.
Yes, we can see you.
Okay, that's fine. Well, I'm so humbled listening to Justus and Josphat right now, and they're both downlines to me, and I see on the comments that have come along, some of the PT members from Uganda, other downlines on this training, and listening to you guys, I'm so humbled because, in fact, Josphat was saying to me yesterday something to the extent that, they wish they could be like us. But I was saying to him that we're just all the same. The big difference is in timing. I've been in the business longer. I've had the privilege of learning more, of meeting more people, even having more disappointments, which do come along. So you as senior managers who are relatively new in the business, the one thing you've got to understand is that the big prize is not at the beginning of the race. The medals at the Olympics is not at the starting point, but at the finish of the race. And you have such a wonderful journey ahead of you. I remember so well when we started, I was full-time in church ministry. Our 4 children were still very small then. My wife had stopped teaching. So we were 6 people on one salary, and it wasn't a great salary. So it ended up where my money started running out before the end of the month. And I'd hoped for and I prayed for something to happen. I didn't know what would happen or what could happen, because I wasn't trying to do anything other than what I was involved in. And then fortunately, somebody one day came to me and showed me, those days it was Golden Products, but what we know today as Neolife, showed me this opportunity. And we got started not believing that anything major would happen to us. I was never negative. I just didn't expect much. But then shortly after we joined, I attended the first convention that I ever went to. That was in 1983 already. And my eyes were opened. There in South Africa, when we were still under apartheid, we had this convention of all races. There was this sense of love and togetherness. I saw people from the most disadvantaged areas in our country earn the kind of money that no Mzungu that I knew ever earned. And I thought, and I realized, but this business is much bigger than I thought. Even so, we made a very slow start, because I was in ministry and I never thought I would not be in ministry. But after about 3 years of attending conventions, of going to trainings, I realized that God was leading me into a different kind of ministry, where I could work beyond the boundaries of a single church. And you know, today, if I look back, I remember in 1996, we started coming up to East Africa. I was part of the group of people who came there in the beginning when there was no business yet. And I never expected anything much from that. I just came. I don't know why. I can't explain to you. I believe it's God that moved me to come. And today I'm so blessed having a wonderful team in East Africa. So what I'm trying to say to you is that where you are now, you could never really see where you could be. You can dream it, but obviously you can't see it yet. It's important to dream it. You've heard that from Justus. You've heard that from Josphat. But believe that if you follow the principles, the recipes that have been laid down in the business, if any one of us could reach to PT and beyond, it means everyone can do it. It means you can do it. You've just got to keep doing the basics. You've got to keep doing things the right way. You've got to be working hard while still being patient, because you know some of your best results may not come this year. It may not even come next year. Some of my best results came 10, 12 years after we started the business. The worst thing you can do is to quit, because you never know who was going to be the next person that you would have met, who could have gone on to become a PT, who could have gone on to become a diamond, and make all the difference in your life and in your business. So one of the things that I think I'm a good example of is not quitting. I'm not a superstar. I've not achieved as much as I could have or should have. There are people who've achieved much more than I have. But I know staying in the business, staying in the race, that there is so much more to come. Next month, I'll be 73, and normally I'd be old and retired and I don't know what. But for me, the future is bright. I look forward to so much more to do. I love traveling. Sorry, I just need to take a sip of water. I love traveling, and at the moment, of course, we can't travel, but I'm so excited about knowing that in future we could still travel. So what I'm saying to you is, as young people in the business, young in terms of your status in the business, just realize that you are in a very good place, but stepping up brings you to better places all the time. And on this point, I just want to say that in my 37 years in this business, you know, I've really never, ever had reason to doubt Neolife. I love this company. I love what they do. I love how they do it. We just had a price increase. I like to talk about a price adjustment. It's a more positive word. I know you're having one now, and some people might say, oh, now this is the end of it. I remember, excuse me, when we were young in the business, every time there was a price increase, I thought, oh, this is now the end. But I can tell you, it's not the end. It happens, it's a bump in the road, but it's not the end of the road. And I'm happy that you in East Africa are now moving to where you're having your price increase, not at the end of the month. It's far better. I'm not going to take time to explain that. I haven't got enough time. But I just want to, before I carry on and forget to do that, appreciate Paul and Fred and AJ and Peter De Bruin and Marco and everybody of the company. You cannot believe what incredible work they do for us. You know, the input costs of the company, also through COVID, but through the normal inflation and things that come along, is tremendous. The little price increase we have does not reflect that. The company really is doing such a great job to make life as easy as possible for us, and we need to appreciate that. When things go wrong, don't easily point a finger at the company. The company is, well, I don't want to be anywhere else than with Neolife. So what I want to just point you to in terms of having listened to Justus and Josphat, I actually feel that I should shut up and just leave you with what they said, because there was so much to learn, so much wisdom. But I want to remind you that we are in a people business. The products are very, very important, and we are so blessed to have the best products of its kind in the world. That's the foundation of our business. But even with the best possible products, if we don't involve people, if we can't help people move forward through our products and through the opportunity, the products would actually mean very little. So while we're in a product business, we are also in a people business. And what is important is that if we understand that if we can build people, the business will build itself. If we can equip people with the knowledge and the understanding, if we can help people to dream and set goals, the business will build itself. You know, I've seen, we had lockdown since March, and as it happened, March was our best month ever for a long time. And every month since then, even through to July, has been better than the previous month. And the only reason for that is that we have products that people need, we have an opportunity that people need, and we have a core of people that have been growing into the business who keep moving ahead, who keep building. I myself, for family reasons, I made the decision for an 18-month period to work a little less in the business. It's not necessary for you to understand why. And excuse me, since there have been a couple of stumbling blocks. So in this period, I've actually been doing very little in the business. I'm not suggesting that you should follow that route. There were reasons for that. Yet the business kept growing. Why? Because of having built people in the past. And to do that, what Josphat referred to, excuse me, this time of the morning, I normally have this problem. What Josphat referred to is, on the one hand, the skills. We need to equip people with the right skills. And he so rightly said that the upline should be there to lead. There's the training, there's the back office where you can get such a lot of information. In terms of developing your leadership skills, I want to refer you to John Maxwell. John Maxwell, you'll find a lot of books and CDs and tapes of his. Get into learning about that, because in the end, it's all about leading people as your business grows. But you know, the skills are only about 20% of the picture. If you want to be really successful, 80% of your success is going to come from your mindset, your attitude, how you think about life, how you approach life. Because if you think negatively, you could be very skilled and you're going to have problems. If you are dishonest in your dealing with people, you can be very skilled, but you're not going to build a solid business. If you don't have integrity, now that's a word that my home language is not English. I didn't know that the meaning of that word until I heard someone explain once that it's a math term that means being one, being whole, not divided. What that means is you don't speak one thing and you do another thing. You tell people to be honest, but you are dishonest. That's what I'm referring to. And that is where the principles that Neolife suggests to us are so important. People, number one, Josphat referred to being the servant of people, not the boss, not the master. Don't use people to achieve your goals. Help them achieve their goals, and they will push you up automatically. That's the beauty of network marketing, that we grow up by building up other people, by helping other people grow. So the challenge we have is that our human nature is one of selfishness, putting ourselves first, using people. And that is that is part of what Josphat referred to, that you've got to overcome the negative and unlearn that. We've got to learn to put people first. We've got to learn to deal with integrity. We've got to also learn to think long-term, as the company suggests. Because if I remember so well, years ago, we had a convention in London, the 50th anniversary of the company. And there was a downline in Kenya. Fortunately, I've forgotten her name. Otherwise, I would have been embarrassing people, who was very keen to get to London. And she went and she promised people that the company would give people visas for England to go to London. Now, obviously, that's an outright lie. And she got people to buy in huge amounts of stock so she could move up very quickly. It caused big disruptions when people found that they weren't getting visas from the company. So, that's a lack of integrity. That's dishonesty. That's lying to people. That's abusing people for you to go to London. That is not the kind of thing we do. So, although we may be highly skilled, know all about the products, know how to talk to people, know what not to do, know how to do things, if we do it with the wrong attitude, if we go against the principles of the company, we are not going to make it in the long term. As a Christian, I take my guidance from the Bible. And I remember Jesus saying that if you want to be great, you've got to be the servant of people, same as what Josphat said. So it's not me and Josphat saying it, that comes from the highest possible authority. So put people first, build people, and the business will build itself. There are probably many things I could still share with you, but that to me is the most important thing. And I just want to encourage you to realize that if any of us could manage to have some success in the business, you can too. It is there for you. You just have to learn what you need to learn, change where you have to change, do the work, be patient, and hold on to the hope of the future that could be yours, much bigger than if you stayed where you were. So thank you, Paul. Thank you, Fred. Thank you, AJ. Thank you, everybody else. Thank you, those of you in my downline for being there. I love and appreciate you. I love and appreciate the cross lines, because all of us together, we are New Life. And we will make Africa a healthier and a happier place. And out of Africa, we can make the world a healthier and a happier place, because there's so many Africans out of Africa living elsewhere. We can make a huge difference in the world, and therefore also in our lives. So I also want to say God bless you. And Paul, thank you for the good work you do. And thank you for this morning as well. Bless you.
Thank you so much, Mike, for joining us today, which is quite early in Cape Town. And we appreciate the wisdom, the nuggets that we have been able to give everybody who's on this call. And I know for sure this is one of the greatest meetings we have had before. I can feel the vibe, and I believe that we as a senior managers who are on this call today, we've been able to benefit tremendously from wealth of experience, from people who came before you. And what is coming out of this hall, because of looking at the kind of training, it is the fact that you have the best in terms of the company, in terms of the opportunity, in terms of the product, and in terms of uplines and PT members and leaders who are here to be able to help you to achieve your dreams. So continue to do what we have been able to task to do, and I'm sure that we'll all be celebrating. So at this time, I want to call our last speaker, who is going to give us some tips as we close our senior manager today. And this is our leader. I'm just trying to unmute him. I hope I'll be able to. Yes, it's okay. So it's going to close the meeting for us today. And for me, I just want to thank you so much for coming out. We were over 250 at one point, and I can still see we are still over 200 mark for East Africa. And I'm so grateful to be here with you and to be able to connect with you through the Zoom, and even continue to do the things that we used to do on a physical meeting. So it's an amazing place to be. And I want to wish you all the best as you continue to build your business throughout the month of August. It's gonna be great. Let's go there and achieve our dreams. So far, I've seen the PVs are coming very well in all the 3 countries, and I believe that we'll be able to finish in East Africa at 1 million PVs, where we should be. So without much ado, I just want to welcome our Vice President of Sales, West and East Africa, Andrew Johnston, to be able to close our meeting. AJ, if you can hear me.
Hello, Paul, I can hear you. Can you hear and see me?
Yes, I can hear and I can see you. Go ahead.
Fantastico. Wow. So good morning, everybody. It's an absolute privilege to be here. My name is AJ, Andrew Johnston. I'm the Vice President for Sales, East and West Africa. So it's always fantastic to be part of these forums. And, I'd like to just share a couple of things with you. I won't be long. I'm not big into big speeches, but I like to try and make a difference. And I'll tell you where I'm coming from. Because I look after 8 countries, I've really seen what works, what doesn't work. And to me, right and wrong may be a judgment, but what works and doesn't work is absolute. So I've learned from all the countries, all the distributors, and what they do, what makes them successful, what do they prioritize, and what works for them. So you've heard from great speakers. I want to say thank you, Mike. That was very inspiring. Justus, your goal setting was amazing. Josphat, as usual, very practical down to the point, and making this is a practical business. It's a lot. There might sound like there are a lot of things going on, but I can assure you it's a practical business. And if you apply yourself, you'll be fine. You will succeed. No one really fails in this business. People just leave too soon. You've got to give yourself a chance. Like any business, you have to give yourself a chance to succeed. So I'm going to share a couple of things with you that I hope that will help you just to get your mindset right. Like Mike said, your mind has to be right, because your thoughts control you. How you manage your thoughts, how you manage your priorities, your mindset, your state of mind, that determines pretty much what you're going to do, what your actions are, and your actions will then determine what your results are going to be. So I'll share a couple of things with you. Part of goal setting, which I find the most important thing in part of goal setting, is what motivates you. What makes you happy? I mean, have you asked yourself that question lately? What makes you happy? Now, it sounds like a pretty obvious, easy to understand concept, but do yourself a favor. Write down what makes you happy. because that'll help you think about what you really want in life. And it could be anything. There's no right or wrong. It's about what makes you happy. I can tell you what makes me happy. And I'm 56, and it's taken me a while to figure out what makes me happy. What makes me happy personally is to see other people succeed, to see other people create other opportunities for other people, to see other people make money. Let's face it, you can't get through life without money. You know, it's one of those things you got to have. I like to see people come from nowhere and go somewhere. I love to see people that have got limited education become wealthy and empower other people. That's what makes me happy. The other thing that makes me happy is taking my jet ski on the river, but that's another thing. So I want you to write down today, before you go to bed tonight, write down what makes you happy, because that will help you think about your motivation, and that will help you think about your goal setting. And your goals will always change and shift, but don't go away from your main goal. There's always a main goal. What is that? It could be money. It could be seeing your children going to good quality schools. It could be getting that car of your dreams. Doesn't matter. Stick to the goal. If you're not getting there fast enough, you speak to people in the business like Mike, like Paul, like Josphat. Doesn't matter who your leadership is, they'll help you. Then if you're a senior manager, well done, senior manager. You're now a senior manager, but you know that your next step is director. So director, I want to take a word out of the director. I want to break it up a bit. Director means direct, right? So I want to be very direct with you if you're a senior manager. If you're a senior manager, you need to become a director. If you're a senior manager, you need to become a director. And I want to challenge you. I want you to challenge you, and I want you to challenge yourself, okay? When are you going to do your 250 PPV and your 4,000 QPV? That's direct. I'm asking you directly, when are you going to do it? I want you to challenge yourself. And I want you to do it soon. Because the sooner you do it, the sooner you open your window to the fast track to director. It's part of our compensation plan and our incentive. If you're not sure, please talk to your leaders. They will explain it to you. 250 personal points, PPV, as well as 4,000 QPV. That gets you as a director. And I can tell you from my experience, director is where it really happens. That's when you start earning good money. That's when you start traveling the world. That's when you start being invited to meetings and being invited to all kinds of events that only directors can be invited to. So that's my direct question and challenge to you. Please write that down. Then your foundation of your business. And like a house, if the foundation is not sound, the house is going to be a bit wobbly. Your foundation needs to be good. And the foundation that I find is that you can break it into 3 acronyms. So it's R for Romeo or Republic, S and A, RSA. That sounds like Republic of South Africa. No, it's not. The first thing it is recruiting and sponsoring. That is the base and the foundation that you need to have. You need to have people in your team. Talk to 2 or 3 people a day, bring people into your organization, build a team, make sure that they build a team. Recruiting and sponsoring, that's what it means. Network marketing means that you're building a network. Multi-level marketing means that. Multi-level marketing means you're building a network at different levels. That's key in your business. The more you recruit, as a rule, the more you recruit, the more you sponsor, the more successful your business will be. But be careful. It's not just about numbers. It's about quality as well. Make sure you get good quality people in your business. The second one is the S. The S stands for step-ups. To me, you need, as a leader, senior manager, you're a leader. You've got a team. As a leader, you've got to make sure that people are moving up in the organization, and you've got to help facilitate it. As you are trying to move up, you need to make sure people in your team are moving up. And when they do move up, it doesn't matter at what level, distributor to manager, manager to senior manager, please recognize. People love recognition. The other thing that makes me happy is I like to be recognized, like most people do. So please bear that in mind. Then the last one is the A, and that is activity. Activity is key. The more active you are, the more things you're doing to build your business, the more successful you will be. But make sure that your activity is targeted and is helping you build. Then right now, the world is going through an incredible change, and things are not going to change for a while. Let me tell you, I'm not a pessimist by no means. I'm the world's optimist, but I can tell you now things have changed. The new normal is adjusting and adapting. So the current situation that we find ourselves in, that people are looking for immune boosting products. Neolife has that. People are looking for ways to boost their immunity as well as boost their income, boost their bank balances. Neolife has the solution. So you're in the perfect position now as senior manager to move into the next level. You've got two products, if you want to call them, the opportunity, which is the business, and the products themselves that build your immunity. Make use of this. But I also stress that the people that have suffered and died from COVID is also on my mind and on my mind. So this is not taking advantage of anything. This is providing product and opportunity to people. Then I'd like to just point out a couple of key things. Mike alluded to it. And these are the things, are the basic things that you need to apply in your life. Doesn't matter where you are, whether you're working full-time in your life or you're working part-time in your life. You need to work hard. That's a fact. Hard work does get results. Make sure it's focused. Stay focused. Ask questions. Talk to your leaders continuously. Josphat is where he is because he did certain things. And he has a certain mindset. And he has a certain work ethic. Mike is where he is because of the experience and the way that he's built up. So please talk to your leadership. They've been there. They know how to build businesses. As far as Neolife is concerned, we're here to support you. My job is to support you as a distributor. It doesn't matter what level you are. I'm here I'm here, and Paul is here, and everybody in the company is there to support you. You can engage us all the time. You can talk to us all the time. And you talk to people like Grace Chiggy, they will tell you how we engage and we help people build their businesses. We're approachable. You can talk to us. We're on WhatsApp. Anybody can talk to us, and anybody will be helped and will be supported. So my last appeal is, in closing, apply what you've learned today. Set your goals. Figure out what motivates you. Have your daily action plans. Have your weekly, monthly meetings. Do your cycle training. Do the basics. If you perfect the basics, you will grow in this business and you will achieve your goals and dreams, whatever they are. So from my side, Andrew Johnson, you can call me AJ for short. It's great to be here. I love all of you. You're part of this big, fantastic Neolife family. It's getting bigger all the time. And I'll say it again, the opportunities right now that you have, use them. Make sure that you leverage where you are right now so that you can achieve your hopes, dreams, and goals. I'd like to thank the previous speakers. Thank you so much. This is a fantastic session. And I love East Africa. I miss everybody. Uganda, Tanzania, Kenya. I miss it. I can't believe, you don't know what you miss until you don't have it, right? And I miss seeing you. I hope to see you very soon physically. And I wish you all the best for your family. Stay safe. I'm AJ. God bless. Take care. Thank you, Paul.
Thank you so much, AJ, for closing our meeting with very key pointers and joining us today. It's a weekend, and I know everybody is ready to go and do a couple of things out there. So mine is to thank everybody, every senior manager who is on this call, and all the directors, world team members, and president team members who have been able to join us today. And most important, our speakers for the day. You have done us a great job. And I believe everybody who's on this call will be able to use that information to continue to build our business. A reminder to senior managers, we still have the senior manager incentive whereby you sponsor 3 people, you do a 3 in 30, and you do 1,000 PVs, you get some products, free products from the company. Let's go and take advantage of that. We also have a sponsoring incentive for Kenya and Uganda, whereby you sponsor 2 people, you get a pair of Neolife branded masks. Let us go and sell these to our teams. But most important, let us achieve it ourselves. Let's walk around, with the mask of Neolife, and people will be able to identify with us. So from me, thank you so much for joining me this morning. I wish everyone a wonderful morning and a wonderful Saturday and the rest of the weekend. See you tomorrow during our meetings. So I'm sure each country has a meeting that is scheduled. See you tomorrow, and God bless you. Bye-bye. Enjoy your weekend. Bye-bye, AJ. Bye-bye, Mike and Justus and Josphat Kariuki. Thank you so much for a great session.